What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Hi if you're new. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Hayley and I have a 5-month-old son named Santiago, and I did fall pregnant when I was 18 years old but did give birth when I was 19 years old. So as you can tell by the title, I am telling a story time about being 18 and pregnant. And just to put it out there first, I'm not here to inspire young people to have babies at all. I'm just here to share my story of being a young parent and share my pregnancy journey and experience with you, and maybe you watching this are in the same boat as me. So sit back, relax and get your snacks out because this is going to be a long story, but I will try to make it short for you guys so that you don't get bored at all. And also I will be looking at my phone because I have made a long list of notes of my whole pregnancy experience, so I hope you don't mind. By the way, I do apologize if the story is all over the place because I have so much in my mind, so many notes, and some aren't even in order, but I just have so much to say as well. Okay, so the very first question that is asked a lot is, was this pregnancy planned at all? And the answer is like yes and no. So Juan and I both wanted to be young parents. I've always dreamt of being a young mom. I do remember ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a mom. I knew in my heart that I just wanted to be a young mom and was meant to be a young mom. It's just weird because that was just my dream and it literally came true, and I'm so happy and thankful to God that it has happened. Because when people say that, oh, once you have a kid your life ends, but actually it's a complete opposite because my life has just begun, and providing a life to someone else is just the most amazing experience ever. To rewind it back to January 2018, at the beginning of the month I'm usually due for my period, or at the very end of the month, but it is always accurate, so it will be like around the 1st or the 31st, sometime then. And I didn't receive my period then, so I was a little bit worried, but not really, because I was just like, oh, maybe it's gonna come late. And then 10 days later I was like to Juan, I still haven't got my period, like could I be pregnant? I don't know. And Juan's like, now come late. I just had a feeling, like I've never had this feeling before. I'm like, I feel like there's something there in my belly. So I was like, oh my gosh, like let's just get a pregnancy test and let's just see, you know, who knows, I could be, it's better to check now. So we went to a chemist and bought some paper pregnancy tests, and the reason why I got paper ones was because I didn't really think I was pregnant. So I was like 50-50, and I was like, let me just do the paper one, you know, I don't want to spend money on a digital one, so I'll just get the cheapest one, the paper one, and we'll see what happens. So we get home and straight away, you know, I pee on the test, and then I waited, and then I looked and I couldn't believe my eyes, and I showed Juan, like, oh my gosh, like 2 red lines mean I'm pregnant. And the funny thing is, the second red line was a bit faint, so I quickly googled and I was like, does it mean you're pregnant if the second line is not that strong as the first one? And then it did say yes, it means you're pregnant, like it's positive. I even looked on Google Images and saw positive pregnancy paper test, and it looks the exact same. So I was like hella shook, and I'm like, oh my gosh, could this be true? So I even took another test straight away. And the funny thing is that I could pee again. Like usually I don't have that much fluid in me, but that was like another sign. So I quickly did that again, and I looked and it came out positive again. And I showed Juan and we basically cried, and I jumped on him and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're going to be parents. And then so many emotions running through my mind. I was thinking, how are we going to tell our parents? How am I going to tell my family, my friends? So that was just one thing that I was really like nervous about. And I was thinking, like, I'm in my 2nd year of uni right now, so many thoughts through my mind, you know, as an 18-year-old girl, what else would you think? So then we decided we'll make a doctor's appointment, of course, and just verify that we are pregnant. So we went to the doctors about like a couple days later or something like that, when they were next available, and I got a blood test, and then after that the blood test did confirm that I was pregnant. So the doctor prescribed me with pregnancy multivitamins, so I took those straight away. And yes, also from that day we found out that we were about 4 weeks pregnant. I did have a little baby growing in me for 1 month basically, and like I didn't really have any symptoms, so that's like pretty weird that you have a little human forming inside of you and I didn't have symptoms just as yet. Also, I'm just super blessed to have Juan in my life, because ever since we found out I was pregnant, he like changed straight away. Like, not really changed, but he became like a dad straight away. He was being very protective of me, telling me to eat the right foods. He said, no, we're not going to eat any junk food, we're not going to go to the gym, just to be like that extra careful, because at that time we were actually being fit and always going to the gym and stuff. I love doing my cardio and squatting with weights and everything. But he told me, no, like I can't be running on a treadmill, I can't be jumping or carrying anything heavy because it might affect the baby. Especially so early in the pregnancy stage, we didn't want anything to happen, because in the beginning of a pregnancy, that's really crucial. Everything you do affects your baby, so it's better to be safe than sorry, you know what I mean? One thing I did cut out throughout my whole pregnancy was Coke and caffeine. So I didn't have any Coca-Cola, I didn't have any coffee, and sometimes I was scared to have tea because it has caffeine in it, but I would have tea sometimes here and there. So we told our parents about 2 weeks after we found out we were pregnant, and we kept going back and forth about like, who are we going to tell first, how are we going to say it, what's going to be their reaction, because I do have pretty strict parents. Like, my dad is strict, so I was so scared of what he was going to say. And then with Mama Sandra on the other hand, we were kind of like feeling safe because we did do that pregnancy prank on her, but still, like, this is the real deal, so we don't know how she's going to feel. So we first told Mama Sandra, and the way Juan did it was he texted her a photo of our ultrasound, and she just seen the message and she didn't reply at all, and we were just like, oh my gosh, does she not know that that is me? Like, that's an ultrasound of Santiago in my stomach. We just left it at that. We were like thinking, why isn't she replying? But then we did go to her house the next day or 2 days later, and then she did surprise me with a bouquet of flowers and a cute balloon saying congratulations. So that was really sweet of her, and I'll just put the picture right here. So I really loved that surprise, and she was so happy. She cried. She was just really happy for us. Our original plan was to tell both of my parents at the same time, and we had like this day in mind. I don't know why. We were just like, no, we have to do it on this day. No more wasting time. We have to do it then and there. I was just getting so nervous. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And at that time, my mum wasn't even home. I think she was at work, and my dad was home, but we were like, no, we just gotta do it. We'll just tell them at separate times, but at the same day. We sat at the table, and that's when, you know, shit gets serious. And then we were like, Dad, can you come sit down with us? We need to tell you something. And it was funny because he was kind of being cheeky. He was just smiling, and he was saying, tell me what? And then I said something like, Dad, please don't get mad. And I started crying. Oh my gosh, I just need to refresh my memory because it feels like so long ago. We basically just told him straight up, you know, that we're pregnant, and I also reminded him, remember, I wanted to be a young parent anyway. And then basically he just told us to, like, you know, grow up now. You need to save more money because you're having a baby on the way, and he accepted it more than what we expected. So we were very grateful to have a supportive dad as well. And also what's funny is that at the very end of our 1 hour long discussion, my dad told me, have you ever heard of Elevate? And I'm like, yeah, that's like pregnancy vitamins. And he's like, yeah, make sure you take them. I'm like, oh, I already have pregnancy vitamins but a different brand. And he's like, oh, good. So it was so cute and thoughtful that he was thinking about me and baby already. And then later on that day, my mum came home from work, and it was so funny because I just had a sensation in my heart just to go and run up to her. So I went and ran to her, and I'm like, Mum, guess what? Please don't get mad. And she was like, what? And I was standing with Juan, and I'm like, I'm pregnant. And she started crying, like tears of joy, and she starts kissing my belly. And then I'm like, Mom, are you not mad? And she's like, no, why should I be? And she was just telling us to take care of ourselves now and save our money. Just like the same thing that my dad said, but she was just even more happier, and she didn't look mad at all. After we told my parents and Mama Sandra, we felt like a weight off our shoulders because we thought, now we have nothing to hide. It's just for the public. No one really knew because I didn't post anything on social media until about 20 weeks, I believe it was. It was around 20 weeks or so. For symptoms, the only thing I really got was morning sickness, which lasted for the first trimester. And I just remember vomiting about 4 times throughout my whole pregnancy, and it was like the worst feeling ever. I also got turned off by greasy smells, like especially driving past Hungry Jack's or KFC, any fast food place. I would get super turned off. Like, I hated that smell. I just wanted to vomit, but I didn't. Like, thankfully I didn't. So that was just the only bothering thing that happened to me, and then the swollen feet situation which happened at the very end. And another thing is that I've had a feeling, and I've always felt like I was having a boy. And the thing is, Juan and I always loved the name Santiago, so I would call my baby Santi. I would always speak to my baby. I would always be like, Santi, Santi, how are you, Santi? So it was really weird that I had a feeling in my heart. I knew that I was having a boy. I also had 4 realistic dreams. Like, it's so crazy. I even wrote them down on my notes when they happened so that I'll never forget what happened. In my first dream, I was taking out my baby literally, and I just could see his big beautiful eyes, and it was a boy, and he had lots of hair. It was kind of like wavy and just big beautiful eyes, and they were like gray in color. And it's funny because Santi didn't have lots of hair at all, and his eyes were a lightish color, but they weren't gray. My second dream was me in labor, and it was so easy and quick, but it was a very vague dream. Like, it was like maybe 30 seconds or something like that. And my third dream was so weird. So Juan was in jail, and our baby was born already, and he was a toddler, and I could see that he was a boy as well, who's about 2 years old. And then my last dream was about having a quick labor as well. So I remember I was lying in the hospital bed, and then I was pushing and pushing, and then I took out the baby myself, and then the midwife said, oh my gosh, that only took 10 minutes. Like, I remember them clearly saying that only took 10 minutes. And I could also feel like the burning feeling of the ring of fire. It was so weird. I could feel that for about 2 minutes straight. I woke up and I was thinking like I had a baby already. Like, that's how real it felt. So that was really weird as well. But it's so crazy how my dreams like told me that I was having a boy, but the labor part was so not true at all. And I will be posting a labor story very soon, so if you are looking forward to that, please comment below if you do want to see a labor story as well. For around 5 months of my pregnancy, I was attending university, and I was exactly halfway through my studies. And the funny thing is, I wasn't really happy with what I was studying as well. It was crazy because I was there for 1.5 years, and my degree is 3 years long. And I wasn't entirely happy with what I was studying. I knew like deep inside that I didn't want to pursue that career after I graduate with that degree. So it was like my pregnancy was giving me a reason to stop studying what I was studying, and I am kind of grateful for that to happen, because I was just studying basically for no reason, and I was stressing over myself, which I shouldn't have been doing. But don't get me wrong, I do love studying. I loved going to university, such an amazing time there. But being pregnant did help me realize, is this what I really want to be doing in life? Do I want to be studying this? Do I want to change my mind? So it gave me a reason to stop and, you know, think it through, like, what do I really want to study? And plus, what I was studying was my second preference, so it's completely different to what I really want to do. I had to quickly feed Santi, but now I'm back. Apart from studying, I did have 2 jobs, and I had about 3 to 4 shifts a week. But I did stop working at about mid-7 months pregnant because my feet were getting so swollen. I'll insert a picture now. They look super ugly. Like, I hated looking at my feet. Every time I walked, they would hurt, but I tried not to complain because I was looking on the bright side of things. Us females are made for this. We were designed to carry a baby, so I shouldn't worry about it at all. All this pain is temporary, and in the end, you are receiving the greatest reward ever, so I always kept that in mind. I was trying to also stay positive throughout my whole pregnancy, and that also led me to being really positive for my labor, which I will get into depth once I film my labor story as well. Juan would massage my feet every night, which was amazing, and Mama Sandra also hired a masseuse to come to our house, and she did like a full body massage, but everything that was safe for the baby. And I did some reflexology, and I loved it so much. It was so calming. We had a candle going on, relaxing music, and I was just in my zone. That was like at the end of my pregnancy, at around 8 months pregnant. Say hi. Hello. He's looking at the light. And sorry that he's like half naked because it's super hot here in Australia. So where was I? I was going to talk about my weight. So I gained a total of 20 kilograms during my pregnancy, and that's really crazy to me to think like I was literally a balloon at the end of my pregnancy. I was also waddling like a duck. It was so funny. Like, lots of people made fun of me, but like in a good way. I didn't mind. I gained about 20 kilograms, well, exactly 20 kilograms. And that didn't really bother me because I knew that I had a baby inside of me. I had lots of fluids in me, so that wasn't my worry. But what worried me was, would I be able to lose that weight? What if postpartum I stay like overweight? Because to me, being petite, having gained 20 kilos is a lot for me. But looking at me now, I feel like I have lost that weight significantly. I'm looking even better, and I still got a few kilos to lose as well, don't I? At 39 weeks, I thought that my belly would have dropped a lot, but it didn't really. And I just guess that every pregnancy is different as it is. And a way that I tracked this little baby's growth was through an app called Baby Center. It's really good and helpful, so I recommend if you are pregnant, you should get that app if you haven't already. So every week it compared him to a fruit or a vegetable. So it was crazy to watch his progress from a little bean to a big watermelon, so that was really cool as well. And also weekly on the app, or I think it was like daily, they put information about what are some healthy foods to eat and some tips for labor. Didn't they? They put some tips for labor. So guys, that concludes my video. Overall, I had such an amazing pregnancy experience. I thank God that there were no complications at all, and that I've been able to have the blessing of carrying a baby inside of me. I'm so grateful for the support from family and friends, and even now they still continue to support me, and they love Santi so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure I missed some things, so if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask them down below. I'll be filming a labor story video as well as a postpartum video soon, so be on the lookout for that. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and follow our social medias which are listed down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.